Stupid show tonight. Yep, stupid show tonight. Name my topic tonight is called Painful, Poor, and Pathetic in Philadelphia. That's my headline tonight. The road, yeah, Painful, Poor, and Pathetic in Philadelphia. Will this look good for Elimination Chamber? Next, will this look good for Elimination Chamber in 4 weeks? Will this look good for Elimination Chamber in 4 weeks leading up to WrestleMania 42 in Vegas? So much I say tonight. Before I do, I'm gonna open up the show. A little bit of music. I'm gonna open the show with the someone hit single by Mr. Mister called Curie from 1986. So stick around. Right back. Get the music playing. Right back with my review. Yep, Carry All you just heard by Mr. Mister, number one hit single for 1986. So let's get down with the next terrible show. WWE Then Now Forever Together opens up, which is could be called Then Now Forever Together and Dead, as I should say. Triple H the new era of WWE. I say awful era of WWE, presumably. The February 2026 era of WWE, regardless the road to WrestleMania, is upon us. It looks like it's garbage. Already shaking things up is from the course outset, as we don't even start with the usual intro. We kick things off with Braun Breaker at ringside as he makes a beeline for the commentary station. Usually is audibly heard telling him to flip the chair, to which he obliges. He then starts tearing the announce table apart before demanding a mic. He gets in the ring, going off on Adam Pearce after what happened at Royal Rumble. The Vision came running down to stop him from blowing a gasket before Heyman takes the mic to address Pearce himself. He says the general manager has to approve every visa for someone to travel to Saudi Arabia for a World Wrestling Entertainment show. And he doesn't know who the masked man is. Breaker takes the mic back, telling Pearce that he has to count of the 3 to get out here, and Pearce makes his way out at 2, telling Braun that the last time we saw masked man was Austin Theory. He tells Braun he will still let him have a job after his piss poor performance at the Rumble, and riles Breaker up until LA Knight's music hits, and we see Knight blindside the Vision with a chair. This clears Theory, Paul, and Reed out of the ring as Heyman speaks to Breaker on the ramp. Commentary talk about what just happened. We cut a video package high in last weekend's Royal Rumble. Later tonight, we hear from Roman Reigns and Liv Morgan after they won their respective Royal Rumble matches last weekend. We also see Stephanie Vicari ahead of her World's Women's title match tonight, and Gunther arriving to the arena. With that, we head to ringside for our opening contest. It's about to get bouncy as Javon Evans makes his entrance. He faces El Grande Americano up next. Commercial break. We're reminded that Evans was this year's Iron Man of the men's Royal Rumble match with a 40-56 showing as we head to ringside to get this match underway. Javon Evans versus El Grande Americano. El Grande takes Evans to the corner for some stomps, but Javon bounces back for a drop kick. He sends the luchador back to the corner, but Americano dodges to charge to send Evans to the outside. He goes to work on Evans, who breaks free to evade the other Americanos to get back in the ring. He and Grande go back until the latter is sent back outside for a dive by Evans. Javon gets back in the ring as Grande and Bravo distract the ref, allowing Rayo to go after Evans with a cheap shot. This gives Grande the opening he heads to lay Javon before sending him to the floor, where he starts mocking Evans before sending him back into the ring. He plays to the crowd before following after Javon before sending him to the mat with a back body drop. We get a replay of that as we go to commercial. Back from break, Grande is still in control as he stomps away at Evans. He takes the young upstart to the canvas for a cover, but only gets a 2 count. Grande continues to mock Javon, who fights back to his feet, before Grande lands on some hard shots. The strike goes back and forth until Evans sends the luchador to the corner. Grande walks up into a thrust kick by Evans, only to respond with some chops. He sends Javon to the ropes, but takes a DDT to the mat by Evans on the rebound. Both men make it to their feet before a red dot ends up, sending both men to the canvas. Grande is up first and goes for an octopus hold, but Evans fights back to get the turnbuckle. get back to the turnbuckle only to be intercepted by the luchador, who stretches Javon to the center of the ring. Evans fights to his feet, bringing Grande back to the corner before taking him down with a kick after breaking free. Evans heads to an adjacent turnbuckle, connecting with a coast-to-coast dropkick by only getting 2 count on 2. The ref is distracted as Bravo knocks Evans off the turnbuckle. Grande's underlings help him with a metal plate before the original El Grande Americano makes his way out. El Grande Americano makes his way out. This distracts the trio of luchadores until the ref notices the metal plate taking away from Grande, just as the young OG catches him with an OG cutter for the win. Winner by pinfall, Javon Evans. Evans celebrates as we go to a video package highlighting NXT and it's NXT making an impact, not the TNA kind of the Royal Rumble. They need to drop the TNA deal. We also look at the beating Roy's Keys, who I believe WWE is gonna mess him up in their dominance of Obafemi, among other highlights from last weekend's event. We're heading to a commercial break. WWE congratulates Jelly Well on former 24/7 champion Bad Money on their success at the Grammys last night. We head to the ringside to hear from the music of AJ Styles, only for Gunther to make his entrance to some heavy boos. He enters the ring to more boos and chants of "Fuck you, Gunther," and "You still tap," but these just make him smile as he tries to speak. Just like Goldberg, just like John Cena, AJ Styles learned when you step up in the ring, the ring general, you get your career killed. He speaks in German a bit before Dragon Lee runs down to the ring, seemingly looking to get revenge for his former tag team partner. He takes Gunther to the outside for head scissors before running at him, and the ring general nails Dragon with a ring bell. He locks in a sleeper hold until officials rush down to break things up. Gunther steps into the ring for just a moment before going back after Lee, locking a sleeper with a Dragon against the ropes before making him pass out. Dragon drops to the floor as officials check on him. The crowd booing Gunther as Gunther puts his coat back on. Commentary talk about what just happened for turning their attention to why LA Knight attacked the Vision earlier tonight. We get video package focused on the Vision attacking Knight before going backstage, where we see Pierce confronted by Heyman. Heyman asks Pierce to book Braun Breaker against LA Knight tonight, but Adam says he cannot do that and just escort Knight out of the building for disrupting his show. He tells Paul Heyman if he knows what's good for him, he'll escort Braun Breaker out of the building while he's at it, to tell Bronson Reed that he has a match against Penta tonight. Commercial break. Commentary heights of Elimination Chamber in Chicago on February 28th. Before we head backstage, Heyman is trying to get Braun Breaker out of the building. Back at ringside, the War Warriors are about to be in action. I think instead whoever they are set to face. However, we get Darula as Obafemi makes his entrance to a nice pop. He heads to the ring and immediately starts laying into the Raiders, throwing them out around with ease. Fall from Grace takes out Eric before Obafemi hits once more. We get a vision of Finn Balor addressing the lack of respect he has been getting as of late. Respect. Finn remains focused on going after the World Heavyweight Championship, and while he considers himself a good guy, he's willing to do bad things to take it. Elsewhere, we see the Bella Twins hug it out after both appearing at the Royal Rumble this past weekend. We hear from them up next. Backstage, Nikki Bella's music hits, but is cut off Bree mode before the Bella Twins make their way to the ring. Light round of boos by the crowd, and I don't blame them. Leads to Nikki Bella addressing the Philly crowd before talking about Bree's return. This naturally gets a yes chant as Bree talks about coming back. She jokes Nikki needing her help before saying the reason she came back is because the Bella Twins are the original tag team. The jumping bomb angels would like that word, ladies. Bree says that she and Nikki are ready to go after the women's tag team championship, starting to start a yes chant as Nikki music hits once more. All I can say is this: I'm gonna puke if they make the Bella Bella's women's tag team champions. I mean, they need to go away. I mean, they're long overdue. They should have thought that before. I mean, they should have thought about having women's tag team titles a long time ago, becoming women's tag team champions a long time ago. Triple H. Triple H is just he's just obsessive with nostalgia with old timers. He really is obsessive with old timers. We cut to some hype for WWE 2K26 because the show never stops. Backstage, Alpha Academy are out hanging out with Bert Kreischer, and I spend so much time looking up who this is, and I almost missed that Maxine steps in and addressed what Natty did to her. She promised to break Natty's ankle before walking off, and Bert stops pretending like he likes wearing a t-shirt as we head back to ringside. Yeah, you better watch out, Natty. You better watch out. I'm sorry about that noise. Hold on a second, everybody. Give me 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. Oh, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Penta makes his entrance as he is set to face Bronson Reed up next and go to commercial break. Back from break, Reed enters the ring as we get this match underway. Penta versus Bronson Reed. Reed takes the advantage early on, sending Penta to the corner before the luchador fights back. He nearly takes Bronson down with a springboard crossbody, but gets caught by an all-Zilla. Penta manages to turn it back around, sending Reed to the outside for a tope over the rope before celebrating with his dance to take us to commercial break. Now we'll go to commercial break. Back from break, Reed is back in control until Penta breaks free to send Reed out. He gets caught on the ropes by the Zilla. Reed slams him to the luchador hard before hitting the senton for a 2. He lands on some shots on Penta before dropping him back to the canvas, using the ropes for leverage as he drives his boots into the luchador's back. Some stomps and a leg drop from Reed, who mocks Penta for landing a snap suplex for a near fall. Heyman urges Reed to as the big man lands running elbow drop for the cover, but Penta manages to kick out at 2. Penta rolls away from another senton as he is fired up as the crowd chants "Cero Miedo." Both men back on their feet as Penta lands some shots before hitting a sling blade to take Reed down and a DDT to keep him down for a 2 count. Penta grabs the arm of Reed, but there will be no sacrifice as Reed breaks free, taking the luchador out with a massive power slam, but Penta kicks out once again. He breaks free from Reed's shoulders for some chops, hitting the ropes and a landing backstabber as a counter for a close near fall. Theory gets on the apron but is knocked off by Penta, with Logan suffering a similar fate while bringing the ref out of commission before Penta goes up top, getting the drop on Paul and Theory on the outside. He goes back in the ring but takes a jag by Reed, who follows up with a tsunami. He goes for the cover, but the ref is still knocked out. This gives Heyman and Reed an idea as Bronson leaves the ring to get a chair only for an LA Knight to run in, landing a BFT that sends Reed face first into the chair instead. Division chase after the Knight as Reed is struggling to get to his feet, as we see the ref recover and make his way back into the ring. The ref begins to count and Reed can't make it back to the ring before it reaches 10. Winner via count out Penta. Penta celebrates the ramp as we cut to a video package highlighting tonight's Philly street fight for the Women's World Championship. And backstage we see Liv Morgan as we hear from the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner up next. Commercial break. We find out that Bert Kreischer has a new show coming on Netflix. And yeah, okay, enough of all that, because here comes Dirty Dum Dum. Dum Dum comes to the ring with his Intercontinental and AAA Mega Championship, and he gets a big pop from the crowd. Give me a break. Somebody needs to get that. Somebody please get that Intercontinental title off of his ass, please. Somebody. Hopefully, probably at WrestleMania Vegas. Despite the cheers, Dum Dum says the only reason he agreed to come out here and to say it like this was to introduce the winner of the 2026 Royal Rumble, Liv Morgan. Big pop for Morgan as she comes to the ring, embracing Mysterio to the chance of "You deserve it." She welcomes Dirty Daddy Dum Dum back, saying they are in the presence of the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time. You're right. They're all probably wondering who she's going to challenge at WrestleMania, but says they all have to wait a little longer. She doesn't know it. In fact, she might even pay SmackDown a visit. If she pays SmackDown a visit, then how should she pay SmackDown a visit if she's a member of the Judgment Day? I mean, you had to have Judgment Day on SmackDown if you want to have that SmackDown Women's title off of her from SmackDown Women's title for Jade Cargill. But first, tonight we have crowned a new Women's World Champion. Raw Women's World Champion, her friend Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez makes her way out to a nice pop as she enters the ring, embracing Morgan and Mysterio. before Liv calls for a microphone. Raquel thanks Liv for the kind words, but says that in celebrating Liv's win this weekend, we haven't addressed something else that happened at the Rumble, asking Liv why she eliminated Rodriguez from the match. Liv says she knows that Raquel isn't a selfish person and that a win for one in his Judgment Day is a win for all in the Judgment Day. Rodriguez responds this by asking her friend to stay back for this match, so her victory can be all be sweeter when she becomes the new Raw Women's Champion. Liv is quick to oblige to her bestie to get it before she and Dom leave the ring, as Stephanie McMahon makes her entrance to defend the Women's World Championship up next. I think they're going to stab Raquel. They're going to double cross Raquel. Trust me. Back from break, we get the ring introductions to get this title match underway. Yeah, and it's going to drive a wedge between the Judgment Day. Back from break, we get ring introductions to get this match underway. Raw Women's World Championship Philly Street Fight. Stephanie McMahon defends against Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends the champ to the corner by laying into Vicaria with some hard shots before Stephanie fights back for a roll-up and a 2 count. She continues the flurry of offense until Rodriguez lays her out with a clothesline followed by a slingshot jackhammer for a near fall of her own. Vicaria starts fighting back and setting up for a thrust kick on the apron for pulling the challenger out of the ring for a midsection. She continues the attack before turning her attention to grabbing a weapon from under the ring, pulling out a table before Rodriguez blindsides her. She sends Vicaria to the barricade, setting up the table. Vicaria recovers, going after the challenger, who ends up driving her through the table instead. She marks the champ as we go to commercial. Commercial break. Back from break, Raquel is still in control. She props Vicaria up, against the ring post on the steps. She grabs the chair, but the chair dodges it before taking it to Kendo for some revenge shots. Raquel starts to fight back, but the champ breaks free of a powerbomb intent only to be sent Snake Eyes style into the ring post instead. Raquel brings her back into the ring for a cover. That's only good for her too. She sets up a chair in a corner before picking Stephanie up, but apparently that chair said, "That doesn't work for me, sister." As she falls out of position, that's just as Raquel stops herself being sent into the ring post by the champ. Vicaria takes advantage of the distraction to take her challenger down hard to the mat, getting a near fall in the process. Raquel rolls out of the ring for a breather. That's not all. She catches the champ with a trash can to the face. Stephanie falls back as Rodriguez starts to pulling out from chairs under the ring, tossing them to Terry Funk style into the ring before using them on the champ. She sets up Dodger for the chairs for a corkscrew on the Vader Bomb, but the champ dodges it before setting up for a Devil's Kiss on the chair. Raquel tries to escape the ring, but the champ catches her with a Devil's Kiss on the steps instead as we go to commercial break. Commercial break. Back from break, Raquel has gained control as she sends Vicaria into the barricade. She grabs part of the ring steps, but the champ dodges it before sending Rodriguez back into the ring. Lands some more shots before grabbing the trash can to pop it over the challenger for extra oomph on a running double knee covered by the champ, but Rodriguez manages to kick out it too. Raquel counters out with an SVB before hitting a clothesline and tosses the trash can at Vaquera for a big boot and a near fall of her own. Raquel ignores chance of a huge chair and she leaves the ring, pulling out another table that slings into the ring. She clears the chairs out of the landing the zone before setting up the table as the ref checks on Vaquera and previously the injured ankle. Vaquera counters out of a Tejana bound for a thrust kick as Morgan runs to the ring, offering the table for Vaquera to use, but to no avail as she gets sent into the ring post by Vaquera. She sets the challenger up on the table for climbing to the turnbuckle before Roxanne Perez shows up. She gets sent to the floor by Stephanie, but this allows Rodriguez to fight back. Both women are on the turnbuckle fighting out until Rodriguez goes for a powerbomb, only for Vaquera to counter with a hurricanrana. It sends the challenger onto the table, lightly breaking it as Rodriguez drops to the mat. Vaquera shoves the table over her, seemingly providing the different finish as she climbs to the top for a corkscrew and the win. Winner via pinfall and still Raw Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquera. As the champ celebrations course show as Liv Morgan runs to the ring, nailing Vaquera with Oblivion standing tall with the title. Now all I can say is this. Everybody knows, all of you know that Liv Morgan is an egomaniac. Everybody knows it. If they, if they screw over Stephanie at WrestleMania 42 Vegas and shove Liv down our throats, screw WWE and will drive a wedge between the Judgment Day. Raquel might get double crossed by Liv and Roxanne, and Liv is just egotistical. She just wants everything handed to her in a silver platter. She likes to go over to kiss Triple H's ass, as she always do. Because remember what? Because no wonder one of the reasons why Rhea Ripley was right. She told her to stay put of her business, and Liv didn't want to listen. Just watch. Liv is going to be to blame for the Judgment Day's downfall. Yep, Liv will be to blame for the downfall of Judgment Day. Because imagine if Raquel is qualified to be in the women's elimination chamber match to main event WrestleMania 42 Vegas. Her friend Liv Morgan, versus the current reigning Raw Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquera. She's an egomaniac. Yep, just imagine. Yep, I know. Yeah. Just watch. Just watch. We cut to a vignette highlighting Finn Balor's NXT run. We cut to the parking lot as Roman Reigns blatantly ignores call time, finally arriving to the arena as heading through the gorilla position as his music hits. He makes his way to a big pop and the OTC chants from the crowd. One's up the sky as we hear from Roman after his big Royal Rumble win, and that's coming up next. Then we go to commercial break. Back from break, Roman Reigns is in the ring for a nice long aura farming session. The crowd chants Roman. Roman Reigns gets a smirk on from Reigns, who tells Philly to acknowledge him. Yeah, believe in him, like he said, believe him. He always says, believe that. Believe that. This gets a mixed pop, pop mix in from some boos, but the majority of the crowd are chanting OTC in response. Roman says we have highs and lows here in Philly. He won his first world championship here on his daughter's birthday. He also lost his last world title here. He won his first Royal Rumble here as well. After the winning the Royal Rumble weekend, he realized that Philly was on its next on the schedule. This is the perfect city to be based on our history because he's got a decision to make. And who make the better decision than Philadelphia? So does he go after the title that he made? This is interrupted by a CM Punk chant. Roman asks if she shouldn't go after Drew McIntyre, which gets boos, or she should go after CM Punk. This of course gets cheers as a big pop as CM Punk's music hits. Out comes the World Heavyweight Champion, and the crowd sings along to his theme. He heads down the ramp as Roman stares him down. Punk steps onto the apron and joins adulation from the fans before stepping into the ring. He gets a mic from ringside as the music fades out. The cheers from the crowd, who also chant his name. Punk chooses to address Finn Balor first, and gets a good laugh from Roman saying he is interrupted his time. Punk is not having a laugh, however, calling Roman a visitor on his show. This is a SmackDown. This is Monday Night Raw, and CM Punk is the champion. He talks about the options Roman has the winner of this Royal Rumble, comparing himself to Drew to clear cheers for Punk, who says Roman's mind is already made up, so pick the easy way out to face Drew McIntyre. Roman starts to mock Punk. Roman starts to mock Punk for saying Drew is 4 times bigger than him. Last time Drew faced Punk was over a bracelet, which gives Punk some ammo as he says they ran out of staples to put McIntyre back together after he beat him in Hell in a Cell. He then says Drew's battles against the Bloodline, which riles Roman up, as he claims they made a way for Punk to come back to WWE. Punk fires back as he talks about Roman's remarks at the Pat McAfee show, running them up for session that no one has stepped up before appointing himself just doing that. He also talks about the prospective record-breaking title reigns, but that just because Roman did it longer doesn't mean it did it better. He says Reigns earned his right to be a part-timer, but Punk chooses to go to 10 countries in 3 weeks to defend his title over the world and to return to a hostile city like Philly to say, isn't it great to be alive on a Monday night in Philadelphia or what? That gets a pop as Punk bringing Roman into this company when he chose to shield for saying he is proud of Roman following into his footsteps. He continues the path until Roman stops him, claiming the company went to him when Punk decided to come back a couple of years ago. He also talks about Punk going on being his best friend's podcast and running his mouth 10 years ago, making Roman's job harder than it needed to be. Punk finally came back and tried to brainwash his cousins and nearly brainwashed him as the pair shook hands after they wrestled together at War Games. And what does Punk do? He mocks Roman as they go up the ramp, acting like he's like some young boy. But Roman's made his decision. He could have chosen Punk because he is the biggest star available. He could have picked Punk because he is on Netflix and the best show, and on the best show but he is not picking CM Punk because he hates CM Punk. He has always hated CM Punk, hated Punk. And WrestleMania is going to be the best day of Roman's life because in the main event, Punk will acknowledge him. He drops the mic, leaving his commentary hypes of the decision being made. We know the road to WrestleMania for the OTC as Raw comes to an end. You know what? I should say I don't think Drew. I don't think Roman Reigns shouldn't be Roman Reigns versus Drew because Roman, we already seen Roman and Drew already. It should be Punk versus Reigns. And I tell you, if they I feel like WWE feel like Triple H is gonna let Reigns bury Punk at WrestleMania 42, and Drew McIntyre should in his rest in his I think that somebody should take. I think it should be Sammy versus Drew again at WrestleMania 42. But they'll make that'll be a terrible match because they'll continue to keep that title on Drew at WrestleMania 42 on SmackDown. And they'll make him they make Sammy fail again, in my opinion. I would say I think I don't think this is gonna look good for Elimination Chamber in this what 4 weeks until 4 weeks until just 4 weeks until Elimination Chamber. I don't think this is gonna look really good. It's not leading up to WrestleMania 42. So that's my review, and now y'all know it's time for my wrestling history and birthdays. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay, see. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's go to yesterday. Um, February the 1st. Since Black February 1st was February 1st. Day when Black History Month started. February 1st. February 1st, 1986, was the 40th anniversary death of the Mongol pro wrestler. He's born March 31st, 1927. He died at the age of died at the age of 58. Yeah, 58. And yesterday was a happy birthday to Sean Casey. Sean Casey was 54 yesterday. Ronda Rousey turned 39 yesterday. And Dennis Condrey turned 74. Yeah. Let's see what else. See what else. Yesterday on WWE Championship Wrestling, King Tonga and Ricky Dragon Steamboat defeated Moondog Sprung and Rusty Brooks. Adorable Adrian Giants for Jimmy Hart defeated Jeff Crippling. Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik defeated Ray Blassie defeated Jim Powers and SD Jones, Special Delivery Jones. Hercules Hernandez with Freddie Blassie defeated Paul Dosey. The Killer Bees, Brian Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell defeated AJ Truzzi and Dave Barbie. The British Ruthless, David Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid with Captain Lil Brown defeated the Dream Team, Bruce Barbie Cake and Greg Valentine with Johnny V. Let's see. See, we're trying to see what else. What is the name, man? Trying to see what else. Hold on a second. Trying to see what else. Can WWE Raw? Okay, on Monday Night Raw, February 1st, 2016, Kalisto defeated Rusev. Line by countout, Usos defeated Social Outcast. Curtis and Adam Rose, Brie Bella with Alicia Fox defeated Charlotte. Big Show and Eric defeated Eric Rowan. Tyson O'Neil defeated Tyler Breeze. Dolph Ziggler defeated Kevin Owens. Sasha Banks defeated the Man Whore Becky Lynch. Roman Reigns defeated Dean Ambrose defeated New Day. Big E and Kofi Xavier Woods. Brock Lesnar defeated Dean Ambrose defeated Brock Lesnar, and then Sasha Banks gets kicked out of the judgment out of the Team Bad. Yeah, she got stabbed in the back. She turns babyface, and they don't like. And Sasha and Becky coming teaming together. Makes no coming for a little enemy mind there. Then yeah, and the main event was Roman Reigns and New Day. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose beating New Day, Xavier Woods. Now let's go to yesterday's February the 2nd. Today's February the 2nd. Okay, 40 years ago today, we lost Gino Hernandez. He died of an overdose and a heart attack at the age of 28. 28. And Tony Gonzalez turns. He would have been 96 today. Canadian wrestler Teddy, and his better known as ring, Teddy Hart, no relations to Bret the Hitman Hart or the Hart family. He turns 46 today. And on this day in 1976, in the MSG show in Madison Square Garden, Frank Monty defeated Pete Sanchez. Louis Cyr defeated Franco Flores by pinfall. Spiros Aaron defeated Kevin Sullivan. Ernie Ladd defeated Dominic Dunucci. Ivan Koloff and Ivan Pussy fought in a draw. Little Louie and the Coco Kid defeated Billy Kid and Little Giant tag match 2 out of 3 falls. Bruno Sammartino defeated Grady Graham, retained the WWE title. Barry Michael Saturn defeated Pat Barrett. Bobo Brazil and Tony Parisi defeated Muggsy Bogar and Crusher Blackwell in 2 out of 3 falls tag match for the international tag team titles. Now this day in 1986 on WWF Championship of WWF All American Wrestling. Mean Gene Atkins shows a recap from the January 7, 1986 edition, 1986 house show in Poughkeepsie, New York, with Special Delivery Jones defeating the Gladiator with a headbutt. And pop culture on this day in 1996, a couple of movies released in theaters. Dead Man Walking, 1995's Dead Man Walking, starring Susan Sarandon and Sean Penn. The Jurors, starring Demi Moore and Alec Baldwin. Supporting cast includes James Gandolfini, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and the late Anne Heche. White Squall, starring Jeff Bridges, was released on this day. And one of my favorite movies, Black Sheep, starring Chris Farley and David Spade. One of my favorite movies. I miss David Spade. I miss Chris Farley. I miss him. And on this day in 2016 on Impact Wrestling, Bobby Lashley defeated Aiden O'Shea. The DK, The Abyss, and Crazy Steve Bram and Eric Young defeated the Beer Money Incorporated. Drew Galloway defeated Tyrus. Trevor Lee with Shane Helms defeated Chigre Uno to win the TNA X Division Championship. Matt Hardy with Rebels and Tyrus defeated Kurt Angle to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Now this day in 2006 on WWE Total Divas, Season 5, Welcome Home Mandy Rose. Was the episode? Wait. The episode was called "The Truth About Cats and Divas," with Eva returning with Natty surprises T.J. Watt. Meanwhile, the twins have a conversation about their endorsements. And that's it. That'll do for my show this night tonight. And everything pop culture. I'm the Godfather, Soldiers, and Slamers, the late Chad Henshaw. I always say, like, dress up, turbo checker, dance like Lionel Richie, dance like James Brown, sing like Lionel Richie. I didn't get in a hot tub, gonna be sweat, gonna be dry, gonna be wet. Furniture Eddie Murphy doing an impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live. I never grew up in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. So I hope all of you have a good night. I'm out of here, peace. I'm gonna close out something for all of you tonight. So everybody knows that Black Mystery History Month is here. I'm gonna close out a song. Tomorrow Will Be You and Better Than Me, sung by Tevin Campbell, written by the late Quincy Jones. So hope you have a good night. And here it is. I'm out of here. Peace. Have a good night, everybody.